everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Make Your Impact Global Summit. I am Danielle Fitzpatrick-Clark, your host, and today I have a wonderful, wonderful entrepreneur and guest speaker who actually happens to be in the same area as me in North Carolina. So that was a happy coincidence. So Mimika Cooney is a visual brand strategist and a multi-passionate entrepreneur, TV host, speaker, published author, video specialist, marketing maven, and award-winning photographer and a catalyst. Mimika's passion is helping female entrepreneurs build, brand, and boost the business of their dreams. She began her entrepreneurial journey at the age of 16 and has since run 4 successful businesses in 3 countries in South Africa, England, and the United States. As an international award-winning photographer, Mimika has 13 years experience behind the lens and has authored 2 books on that subject. She has worked as a live on-air television broadcaster in front of the lens, hosting an unscripted breakfast magazine show, and now hosts her own web-based interview show. Mimika is the founder of the movement, The Worthy Revolution, that helps the modern female entrepreneur build her business and boost her visibility with style. Welcome, Mimika.
Thanks for having me. You didn't have to read the whole thing.
It was so good. It was so good. I'm like, I got to put this out there.
Oh my gosh, I know it sounds long-winded. I have to reduce it somehow, but that's the thing is, I love doing so many different things, but I've learned over the years that you need to own something and put your flag in the sand. So that's why I always like to share that, all roads lead to Rome, which is home and where you want to end up being. So I'm excited we get with your summit today, because making an impact is definitely true to my calling and my passion. And I'm excited to share some tips today.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah, starting at 16, you are definitely a trailblazer as far as entrepreneurs.
Well, I don't follow the crowd, darling. I kind of like to go in the opposite direction. And anyway, as you can tell, the accent, I'm from South Africa. I've been living here in North Carolina for 10 years, but I was born and raised in South Africa during the apartheid era. So in actual fact, I never went to college. I didn't have the opportunity to go. We had turmoil in the country. There was a lot of political upheaval. And my parents couldn't afford to send me, so I pretty much just threw myself into working and learning through the School of Hard Knocks. And my father was a serial entrepreneur, so for me, I just grew up around business. My parents always had their own business running from home, so I didn't even know what corporate life is about. I just can't imagine what that would be like, So for me, it's just been anything. It started at 16 selling chocolates and caramel popcorn to local, stores, and it grew into web design. And as you start to evolve and your passion starts to grow, you start to add little notches on your belt, and you start figuring out what it is you like to do. So that's where it leaves me here.
Yeah.
And as I said, all those roads of experimentation. As I said, I never call it failure. It's just experiments, darling. It's just figuring it out, getting it right.
Yeah.
But and I think for all entrepreneurs, at the end of the day, it's, making that impact means putting yourself out there. So we're going to go over some great visibility tips to help you put yourself out there so you can stand on the stage and make the impact.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And I am in total agreement that you really kind of have to get that hands-on experience in entrepreneurship, especially with digital marketing. I feel like it's something that if you really want to grow in, that you have to get in the systems, you got to play.
Exactly. I'd say probably the last 4 years for me have been a lot of just tinkering and toying, and it's my own 4 years of, experimentation and trying to figure out what works, because, in the online world, things change at the speed of light. Like we seriously, every 6 months, or even now every 3 months, is something new. And I'm like, my head hurts just trying to keep up to date with technology, right? Like before we started recording, we're talking about Confusionsoft, which is Infusionsoft.
Yeah.
Technical stuff. I mean, like, for the love of peace, can this thing just work for me? So it just depends on what your passion is. But one thing I definitely learned is, unless we put ourselves out there, nobody's going to know about our passion. Nobody's going to know about what we have to offer. And I know each of us has something unique to share with the world. I mean, my whole mantra is, you need to step up and share your story so you can connect with those people that you're destined to help. And unless we're brave enough to put ourselves out there, no one's going to know. You'll be like the world's best kept secret. So it's important we do take the steps to position ourselves and think about how we want to brand ourselves. Like, how do you want to be known? I mean, don't you think it's awesome now in today's world? And you can reinvent yourself as often as you like. You can be who you want to be. I'm not saying don't be yourself and copy someone. I'm not saying, you got to remember, it goes without saying, authenticity is key. But, you can primarily share what it is you want to do in the way that you want to do it. So, yeah, I'm excited. There's always opportunity.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful what you're sharing, is like being yourself. But there's so many different aspects. Like we're definitely multifaceted. Human beings are multifaceted. So it's wonderful that you're speaking to that, and how it's important to showcase yourself out there and your unique talents and gifts. So what's a good example, or how would somebody who's just starting out with the online business space, and how would they brand themselves and be unique to who they are?
Very good question, and it's often an exercise I do with my coaching clients. Is we go through the strategy first, because you can't, just to give you a full picture, is at the end of the day you want to have some stunning visuals, because we're in a digital visual world, and video, and we're going to go in over some tips as well why you need to be using video. But in order to put yourself out there, you first need a strategy. You need to know your why. And I know it sounds so cliche. Ideas like Simon Sinek's start with why. Seriously, girlfriends, this is you need to know that, because you can be wafting around throwing spaghetti at the wall, and believe me, this is from experience. Newsflash, I kind of made so many mistakes and trying to be everything that I'm not. Seeing good shiny object, like an awesome business model, like, oh, this sales funnel tactic should work really great. Oh, this person's doing this, maybe I should do that. And what I realize is that the technical things and those things come later, but unless you're at the core, you know who you are, what your message is, what you want to share, and how you want to share it, everything else doesn't follow. It's kind of like pieces of a puzzle. You've got to get the frame in first, and know where the edges are. Then you can kind of work yourself towards the center, and then have that strategy, because once you have a strategy, then you can fly. But it takes a long time, and for me, I spent so many years stuck in the mud, not really knowing what I wanted to do. And it's not to say taking time to experiment with things is a bad idea. I think it's a really good idea too. But what we want to do when we brand ourselves is to first and foremost look within ourselves. So here's a practical example. What I say to people, like, if you kind of trying to figure out your way, don't know who you are or what you're offering the world, start with a simple exercise as Pinterest. Like I say to my clients, go and pin on a board everything that you like, from the clothes you like to wear, the places you like to go on vacation, what you like to eat, the furnitures in your house, the clothing, the color palettes you like. Like, who are you? Like, if someone had to ask you, forget about business for a second, who are you as a person? What books you like to read? How would I describe you? What are your habits, your spending habits? All those kind of things help identify who you are as a person, because unless you're unique to yourself, anything you try isn't going to be a good fit. It's kind of a saying I've coined, and I've posted this as a picture on Instagram. It's like, trying to have somebody else's success is like trying to wear their shoes. Ill-fitting, uncomfortable, and just not my style. Don't try to wear somebody else's heels, darling. They're not going to fit. They're not broken into you. They are made for someone else's journey. They're going to walk their walk, but you're going to walk your own walk. But the first way we do it is we look in our own closets. And this is something I did when I was like in Confusion City. Like, I was like, well, what do I do? And maybe I should do this. And my daughter, who was 13 at the time, Mom, why don't you just look at your closet? Like, look at the style of clothes you wear. My dad is Greek, my mom is British. So I have a lot of a Mediterranean. As you can see, I like a lot of white and blue, and I have that sort of airy feeling and a very solid, color blocking colors. So for me to be, the cowgirl hat and boots, it's just not me. I might live in the South, but that's just not my style. You're not going to see me, again. So, try to pretend to be something. And if you are the cowgirl wearing monoblonics and trying to be all glam, is just, it's not you. It's not you. So I always say, start with yourself, what your style is, because here's the best kept secret that took me a while to actually figure this out. Your best ideal clients that you're meant to serve are somewhat like you. And I think once we realize that, we can then start to show up as ourselves, because it's like being a friend, right? If we had to meet, and we definitely will meet for coffee one day, but I'm sure we'll find these things in common. It's like you chat. It's like business is like dating, whether you're finding a friend or a boyfriend or a business client. You want to get to know that person. So you start with the little things, and you start to see, what are the things that are in common. And then you start to get attracted to that. So from a business perspective, what people see online is your brand. And your brand is what you wear, how you speak, how you show up, the titles, or how your language and your emails, kind of, are you an F-bomb girl or not? Like, you will not hear me use bad language. That's just not my brand and not my style. and that kind of stuff puts me off. But for somebody else, that might be attractive to somebody who feels that same way. And, nothing's good or bad. It's whatever's right for you. And it's like, as soon as you can start to really tap into being your authentic self and sharing those parts of you, then you'll start to see it becomes magnetic. People start to attract themselves that like elements of you. So, I would definitely say, and it's a journey. It's not going to happen all overnight. But once you know who you are and what your why is and why you're showing up to the world, then you can make the greatest impact, because then everything flows from who you are, and then it becomes a natural extension of your brand.
Yeah.
So,
good point.
Very long-winded way of getting around to the point, but
lots of amazing points. I mean, yeah, and you're so right, because entrepreneurship is really a transformational journey. People, I mean, when you first start out, if you don't know that, we're telling you right now, you're gonna transform, and you're gonna really dig deep in who you really are, which is, I mean, I think it's a beautiful journey. I've been on it for a while, not as long as you. I didn't start as young as you.
And that's the thing is, every journey, and I always liken it to raising kids. Like, I have 3 kids. My eldest is almost 18. She's about to leave home at the end of this year to go to college. So my heart's like, so, and my middle one, my son, is 15, and my youngest is 6. And I know this. I would not expect my 6-year-old to have the same maturity and understanding and responsibilities that my 18-year-old does.
Yeah.
But I've had to let them grow at their own pace. Like, the same thing with our business. We see, and this is what really grates my cheese, is you see somebody else throwing like, oh, just do this one thing, and, setting the dream, and it'll just be fabulous, and you can make $1 million or 6 figures in, 6 weeks. I'm like, do me a favor. How long did it take you to grow up as a child? How long did it take you to get a skill? Don't think you can jump ahead. You have to go through the baby steps. You can't run before you walk. You've got to learn the ground. And I think this is in this online world, because things change so much. Everyone thinks that you can literally get a domain name, start get a website, and call yourself an entrepreneur, and then all of a sudden your business and people are going to come flying to you. That's not how it works. That's not real life. It takes time. It takes strategy. It takes experience and a lot of failure. A lot of times, you're gonna, like Edison. How many times did he have to try the light bulb before it actually worked? I've heard thousands of tests and trials before he actually got to what works. And I think when you're starting business, you have the passion. And I call it the honeymoon period. It's like when you have the baby. It's like, oh, it's so cute. It's so beautiful. I'm so excited. Everyone's like, fabulous. Then you get to the terrible twos, and you're like, oh gosh, do I have to deal with this? Then the maturity kind of, but you're still growing and then you get to the teenage years where there's more independence, but there's some attitude. You're finding yourself, and then you become a young adult, and you want to, have your own way, and you figure out who your brand and your style is, and you're ready to own it. And then you become mature and adult, and then you know exactly what you want in life, and you're not going to let people sway you. So the same thing with your business. Your business has a personality. You need to allow yourself to grow at that pace. So when you want to make an impact, your foundation is right, because you just can't jump ahead trying to throw the roof on the house when you haven't built the foundations. It's kind of like, well, duh. So I always think, impact is a brick by brick build.
Yeah.
It isn't an overnight. And I wish people would stop thinking that things are an overnight success. It just gives people a bad name. And then what happens is I coach a lot of business entrepreneurs, and when I was in the photography industry, I coached a lot of photographers, which is, a lot of the starving artists who love the idea of being a photographer or an entrepreneur, and they lose heart, and their heart gets broken after a while, and their business fails. It's because they thought they could go from zero to hero in 10 seconds flat, where they just got to do the work. You've just got to do those 10,000 hours. You've just got to allow yourself to grow at every pace and just enjoy where you are, because there's no point in rushing ahead, because there is no such thing as an overnight success. So as long as we got that out of the way, then we can dig into how we want to be ourselves. We've put the blinders on. Stop worrying about what Susie Q and Joe Bloggs are doing down the road, because that's work for them.
Joe Blobs.
Exactly. What I haven't told you is that that big success you're seeing now, probably 10 years, 5 to 10 years to get there. So don't compare yourself. I think, and as women as well, we are awful at that. We look at someone else and we think, oh, well, she's so perfect. I mean, like, she's got a perfect house, and she's got a perfect business, and she's like got it all together. I'm like, listen, honey, No one's got it all together.
Exactly.
It's a work in progress.
You guys don't see when the curtain goes down what actually happens. Like I've
The
been
wizard
really
behind the curtain. Yes.
Oh yeah, because I've been thinking, I'm like, man, I should be really authentic in what my house looks like. And like, guys, this is what it looks like when somebody works from home as many hours as I do. It's a mess.
Exactly. We try our best. It's, no one's going to be perfect. And
Yeah.
and I think, and saying that, like, as of today's recording, I'm actually in the middle of editing my new bio video. And for me, it was scary. It took me 2 years to get to the stage where I was willing to share it all, because I was like, no one's going to want to know that. But actual fact, they do.
Yeah.
The more genuine I can be, and it takes vulnerability and bravery. Like, I've had to say, okay, I'm going to put myself out there. And I know in Taylor Swift's word, the haters going to hate, but I'm just going to have to, like, what, I don't care. Like, seriously, we're not meant to be friends then. Go away. If we're meant to be friends, I just love what I do, and, like, it's just going to be fabulous. But other than that, I have to have been able to be brave enough to put myself out there.
Yeah.
It's like public speaking. Apparently, you know, according to statistics, it's still one, besides that and dying, public speaking is one of the biggest fears that people have.
Yes.
Especially in you know, these first world countries. We're not talking about, you know, the rest of the world, but definitely, and entrepreneurs, I have read so many stories and heard of so many interviews of people you think have it all together who still get scared about sharing their story.
Yeah.
So,
like for, so for public speaking, which is on stage, visibility and video might be that equivalent to the online.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's the thing. So even as a speaker, you're standing on a stage and you see your audience in front of you. As entrepreneurs, putting ourselves on video online is the same thing, except we can't see our audience.
Yeah.
Depending, you know, there's ways. But it's the same kind of feeling where a lot of the clients that I coach, first of all, we want to get them over that, okay, you really need to show up. And then when they get to that stage, okay, I'm ready to share, then we're going to present it in a way that becomes more genuine, because the thing is, unless you are wearing your own heels and you are walking your own path, it becomes very difficult to maintain if it isn't in alignment with what your core values and your mission and your vision.
Yeah.
But saying that, you know, it takes a bit of confidence to get there, but making an impact requires you to be brave.
Yeah.
It requires you to try something and maybe push yourself, because if it was that easy, everyone would be doing it, right?
Right.
And it's only the change makers of the world, and the catalysts and those who, and the pioneers who are prepared to take the headwind, to step out of there, take the mic and step in the spotlight and shine. And that's when things happen. But if you're waiting in the wings and nobody knows about you, you know, you could be, so, you know, putting all this effort into a business and getting yourself worried about the tech and the tools, unless you're sharing your story and your passion where people can see you, then you kind of like, I always kind of liken it to, there's people out there that are praying for a solution to a problem that only you can provide. So you are the answer to someone's prayers. So you can think that you're holding up someone else's success because you aren't showing up and providing what your gifts to the world that only you can give. So this way, we start thinking it takes our mind off of us. It's not about me, and it's not about whether they think my hair is perfect or whether like, oh my gosh, wrong with me. It's somebody else needs what you have.
Yeah.
And that's the point about making an impact. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be Tony Robbins and have thousands of people who come and see you speak. You can still do that like one person at a time. Simply sharing a video on Facebook, someone can see while they're waiting, you know, in the carpool line. That could change someone's day and someone's life. So if we can think of it that way, I think it starts to shift our intentions and the choices we make. So we are less about in the copycat stage, because, you know, with kids, like with my kids, when they're younger, they mimic everything you do. And this is the same thing again. Remember, like raising kids is like raising business, and in kids is the same thing. It's like when you're in that stage, they want to please everybody and, okay, look at me, mom, but I'm going to try and I'm going to mimic what mom and dad do. I'm going to copy what everyone else does, because it's, you know, that's how we grow. But as you mature, you start realizing, you start to find what you like, what you don't like. You start to have an opinion, and then you get ready to voice it. And then you know, okay, this is me. I'm ready to share it. And I know I'm biased, but video is the best, well, other than meeting you in person and shaking your hand, is the best medium we have available today that allows you to connect in an authentic way, because you can read body language, you can hear the tone of voice, you can see, you know, we read body language a lot quicker than we do what people are actually saying.
Yes.
And it creates an emotional connection that you can type as many words as you like, but there isn't that personality feature to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely, people can decide whether they want to work with you within 2 to 3 seconds of seeing your video. It might not even be a thing that you're saying. It's how you present yourself, and are you connecting with me in an authentic way?
Right.
Then you being authentic to yourself. So
right.
Yeah.
It's a good point, because whenever I connect with somebody on, it's usually through video, and I usually have to look at their eyes. For some reason, that's the window that I look through. I'm like, all right, if I can't see their eyes, and I'm
exactly.
not,
I mean, that's natural human connection, right? That's how you connect with people, is their eyes, which is why I say, here's another tip. All the photographers I've trained, I said, if in a photo or video, if you can't see the color of my eyes, or what we call the catch light, people can't connect with you. Like a baby, if you ever noticed, all 3 of my kids were the same way. They couldn't stand when people wore sunglasses. It freaked them out. It's like literally you're hiding your eyes, because the eyes are the window to the soul. And you can tell whether someone's trustworthy or not by looking at their eyes. If you think about how you're presenting yourself online, like, what does your profile photo look like? Mm-hmm. Is it some sort of like really badly lit selfie where people can't see the genuineness in your face, and maybe you feel like people don't get you? Look at how people underestimate the power of the photo, of how they're presenting themselves.
Yeah.
And video, like, simple process. You need to have your videos well lit.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, people. All the likes of the new iPhones, and the camera quality has got so good, but it still requires us to put a little bit of thought process into it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you were going to go meet someone on a date, you wouldn't rock up in your jammies now, would you?
I might want to.
I mean, seriously, like a blind date, you gotta make the best first impression. And I'm not saying being fickle.
Yes.
That is the human connection. We want to connect with our eyes. We want to be able to know speaking with someone. So tip number 1 is make sure your profile photo is your eyes are clear and you're looking at the camera smiling. Like, I think that's when you meet someone, you're like, hey, how's it going? Heck, that's rude. Now you got me ranting and you got me going.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a good point, because I picked out a Charlotte-based photographer based on how she captured people's eyes, and I'm like, nope, I need somebody who can really bring out my eyes. Not knowing why I was doing it, really, but I'm like, no, I just know that I need to do that, because that's how I just feel like that's how I connect to people. So if that's what I'm feeling, I need to do that too. And that's,
well, you just think about the natural human condition of light and darkness, right? When something's in the darkness and the shadow, it creates the feeling of unease. And often people don't think about this. It's a psychological and emotional thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's more instinctual, is that when you have more light and it's more airy and you can see people, it comes across as more trustworthy.
Yeah.
So especially like sales videos or photos on your website, when you want people to work with you and you want people to trust you,
mm-hmm.
you need to be able to show who you are. So, showing up authentically, but being able to provide good quality, it shows that you actually care and you're taking the time, just like you would get up and get your makeup and hair done in the morning to go out for coffee. It's like respect for the other person, right? Like, I want to be able to show you that this is who I am and I'm not hiding anything, because in the online world, people can say what they want, and anything can go, unless video, I tell you, is the easiest way to cut back on inauthentic people's behavior. Or if you can kind of doctor a photo, and I know, like Photoshop, I can swap heads and eyes, and I can make you look like, I used to say to my clients, you want 5, 10 or 15 years taken off, what do you believe, right? But with video, I can't fake this. This is just, the light, I have to excuse, like, the light that keeps changing. I keep going from blue to an Oompa Loompa orange, just because the sun keeps disappearing behind the clouds. But hey, that's video, right?
Yeah.
I can't fix it in post. What you see is what you get.
Okay, so here's a good question for you, because you're a photographer and we're talking about the eyes and everything, and I know the technique they use. I mean, what would you suggest people who are having their photos done to think about when they're
exactly? So, as we mentioned, rule number 1 is, can you see the eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Can I connect with your eyes? Can I see, and even better, can I see the color of your eyes? If it's just little black blobs, it just comes across as a little shady. So there's a time and place, like, and this is why, and part of what I do with my clients, and I'm actually launching a new program this year, is actually providing the whole brand strategy coaching, the photography and video at a retreat and on a weekend event, where we actually provide all of that for you. So there's a seamless look. So your photos and your videos match. So at the end of the day, you know, whatever city you're in, whatever photographer you hire, you need to make sure that the quality of their work shows the person's eyes. I mean, there's a time and place for creative shots and, you know, like off the shoulder and whatever else. But, you know, in the entrepreneurial world, trust is so important. Looking at the camera, smiling. Yeah, you can look away, and maybe if you're not a smiley person, but at least connect with the eyes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the clarity of the lighting. Like, you need to make sure that your skin tones look good. You don't look green. You don't look orange. And also that your styling. Like, and this is the other thing is we often think we're just going to go and grab a few photos, but even the clothes are a subliminal message. Like your colors, you know, the style of your jewelry, the you know, what you're wearing. It's not to say you have to go and purchase clothes that aren't you. You still want to be authentically you. Like an example, last year I did a photo shoot for a fellow mompreneur podcaster, and she's a very earthy girl. Like, she would not do well in the studio dressed in glam and high heels. She wanted to do jeans and a really nice shirt. We were outside in the outdoors. We captured the sunlight, so it had that sort of authentic outdoor feel, which was genuine to her. Like, other clients want a very Kate Spade look, which is very, you know, color blocking, solid lines, very sort of fashion, because I shot fashion for quite a few years, and there's a different lighting technique. So again, it depends on your style. Finding the right photographer to meet your style is also important, and providing you with high quality images that you can reproduce and use, and then consistency. So wherever you use your photo, it needs to match Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You need to use the same profile photo.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the other subject, is why I always advise in entrepreneurs, you should have your photos redone every year. I know it sounds like, what? And it can be an investment, but if you think about it, your imagery online is what's selling you. It's your silent salesman. When you can't speak, your photos and video are speaking for you. Like, I have clients who've contacted me in Australia, America, South Africa, England. They will be watching and looking at the things that I post, even when I'm asleep. So you've got to think, you know, what you're putting on online is quality, consistent to your messaging, and is readily available. Like, one of the worst things I see is you see somebody's website and there's not a single photo of them. I'm like, who is this person? Like, really? It's kind of weird. Any kind of issue that creates a distrust is an absolute no-no in the online world. You want to have that authentic connection. So, and that's what I advise my clients is when we do we work together, is at a minimum have an about me video. Even if it's something basic, like you hold up your iPhone and you talk to the phone, you know, put it on a tripod, another tip, and have it. You don't want to give people motion sickness. Even if it's a 30-second, hi, my name is Mimika Cooney, and I'm passionate about helping, you know, female entrepreneurs boost their visibility and branding. It's literally that quick connection is super important too. So it's part of the brand.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Well, we could go on for like
we could
long time.
Right?
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about video, and then we can tell everyone about your free gift.
Sure.
Video is so important.
Well, video, as you know, is now become the best platform. And I know when I started saying this 3 years ago, like, I could see the writing on the wall before Facebook Live came out. It definitely is the quickest way for you to grow an audience, get visibility, and create a connection, because people trust video. Like, as we mentioned earlier, people will trust seeing you on a video more than they would by just the words that you have. And these stats, you just need to Google it in Google video stats.
Yeah.
Things like having a video on a sales page converts 80% better than not having a video.
Yeah.
Having a video, you know, explains and creates that connection, because as human beings, we talk at, this is the pace we talk at, right? We can probably speak quicker than we can read. And I'm not bashing reading and copywriting, because I know you're a copywriter and you know words are important, but it all has to marry together. Copy, because here's another thing, is not all your clients are exactly like you. Like, I'm a visual learner. Like, I like to see photos, I like to watch movies, I like to listen to audio, and I do like to write and read, but for me, I'll respond better to when I see something visual. Some people don't like to watch videos. Some people want to read. So again, as an online entrepreneur, you have to provide your message in all the mediums that will speak to your audience. So you need to have the written stuff, you need to have the photos, you need to have the video, so that it connects with people right where they're at. Yeah. As long as your messaging is consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say with video, I mean, you've got the likes of Facebook Live, doesn't cost you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give you an understanding, in 2013, when I first launched my interview show, having been trained as a live TV broadcaster, I knew the power of live and having conversations with people, but there wasn't any software that provided that. Mm-hmm. So I found a broadcasting company that could mix the live, like we're doing now with Zoom, but we would phone into Skype and they would mix the two sides. Mm-hmm. It's like $400 an episode. And I was like, okay, I can't keep this up. Mm-hmm. So I switched to doing records. But then when Blab came out, it was like the opera singer moment, like, oh, you can connect with people live, just like a conversation, and in real time, and I can interact with the audience, which is what a feedback that a speaker has. Like, you sitting on a stage, you can read people's body language. You can see, like, that's what makes it authentic and creates that energy, is when you can see somebody and you are interacting off of their energy. Mm-hmm. At least now with the likes of Facebook Live, video is accessible to everybody. There's no excuse. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need to spend a whole ton. If you want a really professionally done a story, then you need to come to see me. But if you want to just connect and show and start trying things slowly, I would say using Facebook Live is a great way to start posting, even if it's a few, like say 20, 30 seconds. Yeah. Just put yourself out there and you'll be surprised. Because here's another thing is video is now kind of in favor. And so the likes of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube are pushing video. So if you post like I've even tested this, I could post like a meme, like an image. Mm-hmm. Those stats compared to when I do a video are like 10 to 1. Yeah. Facebook algorithm is favoring video, especially the live video. So it's going to naturally show your video to more people. Oh. That's what we want, right?
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to pay for it either. So
I know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So before they start charging, who knows? I mean, yes, they might decide one day that in order for you to stream video, you might need to pay for it, especially when you're on. So like, hello, let's just get on the bandwagon now and start.
It'll probably change next week.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, how do we keep up, right? As long as you are there and putting yourself out there, it doesn't have to be perfect. Mm-hmm. But again, it needs to be in line with your messaging. Mm-hmm. It has to be consistent to who you are, because don't try to do something that's, don't try to do a Gary Vee if that's just not you, Yeah. Duh, it goes without saying. Yeah. But at least getting started and putting yourself out there, and you can always delete it if you're not happy with it. Yeah. And you can always test it. But I would definitely say as a bare minimum is at least start, because video is like a muscle. You get better and stronger at it the more you do it. But or I even liken it to making pancakes. You try to get the pan hot. The first few might be either undercooked or a little overcooked and totally gross. You won't be able to eat them. And I'm like, I look at my videos from when I first started, and I'm like, seriously, girl, seriously, you wore that? Like, ew, cringe, ew, take it off. I know that's the growth process, right? So, put yourself out there. Put on those big girl panties and step out and try it. And then once you get used to it and you start building the muscle and you're getting stronger, it's easier and easier. I'm sure you have the same story, like when you started.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, people are like, oh my gosh, you're growing so fast. I'm like, no, guys, I've been here for a while, and I'm just scared to death of being visible. Scared to death of it.
Hiding behind your computer screen has been safer, right?
I was hiding behind my computer screen, and I'm like, I'm still serving. I'm still making an impact. I'm just helping people make their impact, and eventually that got kind of like, come on, Danielle, you can do this. But, it did take a lot of revving up and support for me to actually say, okay, I'm going to put myself out there. I have something to say. For me, it took a long time, because I've been an entrepreneur since like 2009. And everyone just like, oh, you just came out of nowhere. I'm like, no, I didn't. I've been here.
When people want to say that, I want to just slap them. I'm like, seriously? Nothing is overnight success. It takes like growing a vineyard. You need to toil the soil, and then you need to, seed it, and then you need to water and water. How long does it take for the underground work to happen before you actually see something start out and you start to see the visible effects? And unfortunately, that's just it's a result of our society, right? Everything's microwavable, quickly do things. But if you can be, passionate about what you're doing, passion is great. But if you can be consistent, it's even better, because it's not to the swift, but to those who finish the race. Yeah, those who are prepared to put in the work. And unfortunately, that is one of the reasons why so many businesses fail, is because not many people are prepared to put the hard work in, and it usually takes a good 5 years for you to get established. After you've tested yourself, I mean, the first year is the honeymoon phase and you think everything's fabulous, but then you're you get through the year 2 and 3 are a little tough because it's kind of what I call the dip. It's like, well, am I doing this again? I'm not making any money, or I'm not doing anything, but just consistently doing the same thing, showing up and showing up. You just never know when the dam will, the walls will break.
Yes.
You've had to put drip by drip in that dam wall, and just keep filling it up and filling it up. So I definitely would say, keep the faith and just keep putting it in there. But, as long as you know where you're going and you have a roadmap to where you want to go, you can then consistently keep at it without losing steam.
Yeah, that's a powerful point. So I just want to, reiterate what you're saying is that consistency is so key. And that's something that I see entrepreneurs not doing. And like they'll email market when they're in sales, and then they'll drop off the face of the earth. And, I'm like, no, you need to continually add value to your email subscribers. That's something that, you don't, if you can do it the same time every day, do it, but at least do it the same amount of times. Like if you do twice a week, do twice a week. Mm-hmm. So, because for me, it's like, it's all about the relationships online, which is why the eyes are so important. Videos are so important. So you're bringing up such a powerful point with consistency. So we're hammering that in, guys.
Exactly. And I know it's boring. I mean, to do the same thing over and over, it's kind of like, because we always, and I suffered from this shiny object, like, squirrel. We're constantly searching for this quick fix, this shiny object, this magic bullet. And I'm sorry, people, there is no such thing. It's like, even though the statistics of last year was like the king of, it was a flood of people selling their courses. Like, I'm going to teach you to do this, or I'm going to teach you to do that. Mm-hmm. But the percentage of people who actually consume those courses is less than 5%. Mm-hmm. In other words, less than 5% of people are actually consuming the content, putting it into action, and doing the work to get the results. And then they wonder why, I spent all this money on courses, but it didn't work. Well, did you do the work? Mm-hmm. Did you do what you would? It's like your teacher at school, right? Unless you did the homework, unless you did the exercises, I can't really do anything about it. And I think that's one thing we need to really remember as online entrepreneurs is you can't compare your walk to someone else, but you've got to be able to put the work in, and you've got to consistently be hammering in the same thing, the same messaging, and showing up where your audience is. And that's the other thing that we didn't touch on is, understanding what platforms to use. But nowadays, as I said, the tech has become so easy. You can test things. I'd say pick 3 platforms. So if you want to do Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or YouTube, whatever you want to try to figure out where your ideal audience is, you can really, own that platform. Like I tried all of them now, Pinterest. I still have my accounts with all of every time there's a new software program, I always go and grab my URL because I don't want someone else stealing my name. So everything from Snapchat to Pinterest I own. But I never used Snapchat. That's just not my thing. I've realized from testing and trying things where my audience is. So, and as a visual person, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube are great. Yep. So I'm primarily on Facebook, and I have my videos on YouTube. So again, it's going to take that testing and trying. So don't think of you're going to know straight away. You need to just put in the time and the work to figure out where it is your audience is, and then keep showing up there consistently.
Yeah, good point. Yep, do the work. And I love how you said big girl panties. I say that, and someone's like, where did that come from? Is that an East Coast thing? I'm like, no, people say that.
Exactly. It's like something a baby now, and just put it on and let's be a big girl, and just it's
not big girl pants, it's big girl panties.
Exactly.
Well, Mimika, oh my goodness, so many golden nuggets. I know people are going to be like rewinding and rewatching this. I mean, geez, you gave some really powerful insights to what it takes to be an entrepreneur. So thank you so much. And I know you have a fabulous gift. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, well, you're welcome to go and grab it. It's free for you. It's at mimikacooney.com/video. I have a how to look good on camera guide. It's a super easy, it's a PDF you can print out. It's got a tick sheet, and it's got some lists of equipment. Like if you're thinking you want to get started with video, we give you some good tips about how to actually position, what do you need to actually be doing. So, and if that's something that you want to do, go ahead and grab it. And it's a great, easy reference. Like whenever I'm interviewing clients, or for my show, just print it out. It helps you to figure things out, because sometimes, trying to Google something like that gets a little hard. And then if you know you want something more, you know, I do free discovery calls. I'd love to hop on a conversation with you to figure out if we're a good fit, because I'm always happy to help entrepreneurs position themselves so they can get more visibility and make the impact that they know they're destined to. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a call. No, we're gonna have coffee. We're
Exactly. Well, we close enough. We may as well, hey?
We just take a break from the kids,
Yeah.
because I have three too. I have three kids. Yeah. So, oh gosh, that's an amazing gift. Thank you so much for sharing that, and it's so valuable because many people are like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go on video," and you're giving them exactly what they need to look good on video. So I'm gonna grab it too. Yeah, thanks so much, Mimika. Would you like to leave us with any little golden nuggets or last words?
Yeah, well, I mean, I always like to say, you know, be authentic to yourself and don't be shy to share who you really are, and be brave enough to put yourself out there. And I know it's going to be a bit scary, but you'll be so happy that you did, because you'll start to get a flurry of people who say, oh, you know, raise their hand and say, I really value what you have to say, you know.
Yeah.
Let's chat more. And at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, you want to make a business, you want to make a profit, doing what you love, then I would say, you know, out of everything we talked about today, is really just be true to yourself and figure out who you are and where you want to go, and just put those blinkers on. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. And simple things like go to Starbucks and, you know, get a pen and paper. And sometimes writing without your computer is a better way of staying, you know, to avoid the distractions. And sometimes actually think, you know, what do I actually want? What do I want in life? So definitely be true to yourself, figure out what it is you want, and then you can find the path, so then you can show up and make the impact that you're destined for.
Oh, perfect. That was a perfect way of ending. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Thanks so much, Mimika. And folks, we will be back tomorrow with another amazing speaker. So check out the links below this video. Get Mimika's free gift. And, you know, yeah, I'm getting it too. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much, Mimika. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.